This is the Cult Fashion Podcast, episode 57, The Cultiverse of Badness.
Superman.
Hi, this is the Cult Fashion Podcast, episode 57, The Cultiverse of Badness. I'm your host, Damien Hicks, and as ever, I am joined by...
Brett Summers.
And Paul Hawkins.
You had to think about that then, didn't you?
I wasn't sure whether you were going to say the and.
I saw you had to look.
Did I not say the and?
No, you
Oh,
just pointed.
I just pointed.
You were looking in the back of your underwear to check your name. I saw you.
So is this what we do? Every week we kind of reference an MCU title just to get him into the spirit of the Marvel Universe.
Or just anything that might be trending.
Kind of subliminally. Just get Damien into it.
It's not going to work, I can tell you that much.
I think this film you will want to watch.
We'll see. So, it's been, as you say, it's been another week.
It has.
We're back in the studio.
Again, a bit of a surprise for me.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to be here.
I know, I was nearly going to entitle this episode Just the Two of Us, and it was going to be me and Brett.
I was kind of thinking almost like Paul Hawkins' Day Off. or Hawkeye calls it in. Something like
Hawkeye calls it in. You do know no one other than yourself calls you Hawkeye, don't
They
you?
did in London, where it was cool.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
You cool trendy London
My
friends.
friend
Ooh,
in
London
called me
friends. Ooh.
Right. Three of them.
Will they pick it? Yeah, but will they pick it?
That was all of them, wasn't it?
Although randomly enough, but because this was like the name that I would have really liked because it's quite cool, and three people, as I said, did call me Hawkeye in London. Connor came up.
It sounds like a Netflix show. Hawkeye in London.
So
It's a follow-up to Emily in Paris.
So Connor came up to me a few weeks ago. Because he sees my log-on details to some of the streaming services, and it's like Hawkeye P.
Hot boobs.
Hawkeye P. And so he said, Daddy, why is it Hawkeye P? It's because, well, Daddy's nickname is Hawkeye. It's like, you're Hawkeye. It's like, Connor, you can't tell anyone that Daddy is Hawkeye.
You convince your son you're a nickname that
it's-
no one else calls you.
it's our secret.
So next time I see him and I tell him I'm Black Widow, is that going to mess
You're
him
gonna
up?
mess up the universe if you were Black Widow. The idea of me being able to do all those acrobatics while shooting arrows at bad doers, and yeah, I'm down with that.
Fair enough. So, Paul's been lying to his kids for the last week. What about you?
Not just last week, weeks
Forever.
and weeks.
For many years. No, I haven't been lying to anyone's kids.
You keep
I
tapping
think I
your foot,
lie to
though.
mine on a daily basis, but
You what?
You keep tapping your foot though.
I'm excited. It's podcast time again, isn't it?
it's podcast time. It's podcast time. It's podcast time.
You've been watching too much CBeebies.
That was a good episode.
It was.
The Pancake Day episode.
I'm slowly introducing Emily to old school kids TV. She's been watching a lot of Trapdoor this last week.
I can
Sweet.
take Trapdoor. I like Trapdoor.
It's great.
What's
What's not to like?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like that one. I wasn't sure what you meant by old school TV. I was just seeing. I was like, give us an example, and you did. And I said, oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
And made Marion and Merry Men. No
Yeah,
doubt
she
will be
likes
on
the
watch
pancake
list.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously on Pancake Day, it was the first thing I showed her. So, it's pancake. Anyway, I'm not going to do that again.
It's not even Pancake Day anymore. We've ruined the Pancake Day episode now. No, I'm doing a lot really. Just chilling, enjoying the extended bank holiday.
Oh, yeah, your extra Tuesday off
Yeah.
today.
Back to work tomorrow.
Good.
Apparently, if you know what day it is. It's behind the curtain. But yeah, it's all been pretty chilled. And just counting down to the new Doctor Strange film, which I'm very excited about.
Well, it seems that everyone's kind of excited about this. Oh, hold on. Before we continue, are we talking about this in the news?
No?
Oh, okay. Why you got a hand up?
Well, you said everyone's excited about this.
Yeah,
Just
so
putting my hand up.
Damien's got his hand up because he's excited about it too.
He loves it.
I
love a
not.
bit of Sam
Sat here
Raimi.
in your Doctor Strange t-shirt.
I don't even
pretending you
know
don't
really
like it.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
You've not seen Doctor. You've seen Endgame, haven't you? You're
No.
aware of the character of Doctor Strange.
Is that
Benedict
Cumbersnatch
Cumberbatch.
bloke?
Yeah, Bandersnatch. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I know what that is then, but am I excited about a film that has him in? No. Do I know that is this a second film that he's in?
Well,
no, he's
second
been in a few
solo
films,
film,
yeah.
but he's appeared in other ones.
I just thought he was in that One Division thing, and that was it.
He wasn't even in that.
Well, there you go then.
You know we do a podcast on like TVs and films.
Yeah, but you talk about Marvel, and I shut off. I stopped listening.
Yeah, but it's also on the Twitterverse.
It's why I need the
It's
wavy
all-
lines when we're doing the editing, because otherwise I've got no idea where to cut you out and put you back in again.
Okay, so the first. All right, your take on the first Benedict
Strange.
Cumberbatch Doctor Strange film. I thought it was good.
Yeah, good film.
Yeah.
Very bit trippy. Was an introductory one, so obviously you take it as that because you know it's there to set him up and introduce him. Origin story 101. You know.
But it was really good actually, and not much of the I was going to say not much of the whole cape thing that Damien doesn't like, but there is a prominent cape in the film, but for comedy purposes, if nothing else.
But it is self-aware, so it's a bit different.
Yeah, it's a cape that fights back. So the first Doctor Strange film was good.
Magical.
He's popped up in quite important ways in a lot of the Avengers films.
Across the MCU.
Yeah.
And in the What If cartoon series as well.
Yeah, and now this one is like post Endgame.
All the other stuff that's happened before.
We've also had the Spider-Man film, that No Way Home, that he's popped up in and kind of screwed up that universe.
Basically, he's kind of helped screw out reality, and now it's all gone tits up.
Well, he kind of helped save reality, and then he helped screw it up.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm guessing that's the catalyst of what's happened this time now.
But the big thing for me about the new film coming out is that the whole rumor verse going round about who's doing what is the storyline. Oh, Tom Cruise is going to pop up as Iron Man, whatever he is, or
he's not tall enough. He could be Puck in Alpha Flight.
Well, it's amazing what they can do with like visual effects and everything.
True.
But and the whole fact as well is that this is directed by Sam Raimi, so there is the hope that they're going to carry on with, in essence, the madness that he brings to the table.
Well, what excites me about it, and Damien,
he's on the edge of the seat.
You're not going to know anything about this, but in the trailer alone, they've kind of revealed Captain Carter, Professor X, voice,
and also Captain
Patrick
Carter appeared up on the premiere.
Yeah, and you see the Shield. You've got Michael Ferrer. Who else is in it? Oh, the Illuminati. And a few other things, and they've already dropped that in the trailer. So if they're dropping that, which
Patrick Stewart, did you mention?
Yeah, Patrick Stewart's Professor X. All those things that would be, if it happened in the film, people would be excited about. They've already dropped in the trailer. So like, what else is going to be in it? Do you know what I mean? Because Marvel are very
normally keep
sleight of hand a lot of the time.
But they keep their cards close to their chest.
Because even some of the previous trailers, they've had stuff where you've seen a scene, but someone's been removed from it, or someone's not been in it. So you watch the trailer and go, "Oh, that looks right." And when you see it, really, there's been. So it's sort of like, I don't know. It's very exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna look behind the bar to see if there's any shits I can give whilst you carry on talking amongst yourselves.
But the thing that also
the listeners are interested.
No, but the other interesting thing about
But the thing is, you're both directing your conversation at me as if I should.
We're trying to convince you.
You're trying to, it's not going to happen.
But also,
because to be fair, for any of that for my excitement level to reach the peak that it seems to be peaking for you two, would mean I'd have to go back and watch all the other ones beforehand.
No.
Otherwise, it's just another film with a weird guy with weird eyes.
There's been so many of the MCU films now that we've kind of given up the ghost trying to get you to watch all of them. But there are some key films that you probably enjoy that we're saying maybe go and watch them.
Yes.
But the other thing I think with the new Doctor Strange film is it almost solidifies again. It was in the news recently. The vision, no pun intended, but now that I've said it, pun intended. For Marvel's strategy over the next 10 years as well. So whilst Endgame basically, finished off one branch of the MCU vision, as it were, now they've recognised the fact that, well, not now, but they've also got the long game. It's like, okay, we're done with that. Tony Stark is dead, unfortunately, because I loved Iron Man because he helped create the new.
He had a daughter.
No, agreed. Yeah, but that generation of MCU is, or that chapter of MCU is finished. This is them now setting the scene for all the possibilities that could come over the next 10 years. And the fact that,
and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think what concerned me more about that entire conversation was the way you're rubbing your hands together as you were that.
Because it's exciting.
No, I know, and it's also because I've been doing weights and they chat.
Ooh, you've been doing weights.
Well, I've got a wedding that I've got to attend on Saturday, so anything to try and help me fit into that bloody suit.
And Kiev's.
But yeah, the new character. I mean, having Professor X there.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That is a big deal. Introducing the X-Men into Marvel in a film series. In cartoons we've seen it a lot.
Yeah.
But not through the films.
I'd really like it to be a really good X-Men movie in my lifetime. That's actually, sticks to what it should be.
Yeah.
Days of Future Past and what was the one after that? Oh no, First Class and Days of Future Past weren't too bad, but then then they had Apocalypse, and then they had Dark Phoenix.
I didn't mind Apocalypse so much compared to some of the others.
Yeah.
Back to Doctor Strange.
It's going to be good.
This has hype. The first reviews are in. The initial reviews back are that it lives up to some of the expectations, and again, Sam Raimi having his input into it has made this a darker.
And it might be scary for younger viewers. Just a warning to any parents out there.
Good.
Apparently.
Good, because children should be scared. Kids should be scared.
Yeah, they need some
all the time.
they need some chalky stuff to screw their heads up.
No, but they do. They do. But that's I think that's a good thing. For
no, we did have Avengers 2 when Scarlet Witch blew up that hospital where it was by accident.
But there's some more Marvel news coming up later in the show, so can we stop?
But we did go through the rabbit hole.
Yeah, we did a little bit. We went into a multiverse of man.
So let's go back to our normal format and go to Mr. Summers. What have you been watching this week?
First thing I watched this week was episode 2 of the new current series of Inside Number 9, which is season 7. The episode was called Mr. King.
Yep, I watched it too.
It involved Reece Shearsmith playing a teacher called Alan Curtis, who's a new teacher in a sort of small primary school out in the sticks in Wales.
Wales, yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah. And he's really passionate about teaching, and he really cared. And he also seems to be a bit of an environmentalist and really wants to teach the kids all about the environment and Greenpeace and that weird girl.
Greta Thunberg.
That's the one.
That's the one. Who may be an X-Man herself. I'm still not sure yet. But it throws herself in the job. But all the kids still like Mr. King, the previous teacher, and he was like the best teacher ever and all that. And it just kind of takes many twists and turns from there. I don't want to
do you see some of yourself in this character?
There were some moments in the teaching bit. I did like the bit when the head teacher, Steve Pemberton, was on about he would get the secretary to text him an email, and he went, "Take that, Ofsted." Something like that. There was some nice touches like that. But yeah, it takes a weird twist and turn. Do you want to hit the spoiler bell? Because I guess
You've got the spoiler bell over there.
Got it. There will be spoilers. Yeah, because at the start it seems to be a kind of fish out of water sort of show. Then it sort of spins around into what may be a kind of, because you never know Alan Curtis, the teacher, has moved from London. Something's happened in London. They kind of, well, that's more of a red herring, I think.
Yeah, they
really,
allude
isn't
to
it?
that he had some
Some
sort of
maybe a
breakdown or something.
breakdown or something's happened, and he's moved to the countryside because it's less hectic and he can deal with it and all that. But then it kind of treads on sort of child abuse, basically, and then does a full sort of nosedive into the Wicker Man.
Wicker Man, yeah.
Yeah. Literally every single element of the Wicker Man. So, but yeah, it was good. But was it amazing? Probably not. But it was a good episode.
I think it was an improvement on last week's.
Yeah, merrily.
Yeah, I
That
think it
was
was
the
an
first
improvement
one,
on
yeah.
that. But they're still yet to hit the heights of Bernie Clifton's, I was about to say wardrobe, dressing room, or 12 Nights of Christine. They
Yeah, it was good, but it was very much, it was, once you realised where it was going right near the end, and it was creepy how they done it, and it was a bit freaky, and there was some funny moments on the way, but it was Wicker Man by the numbers. It wasn't there wasn't a spin on it, but then that's probably, they didn't want to do that. I imagine they're massive fans of the Wicker Man and want to do their own sort of version of it. There hasn't been an episode this season yet where you have that moment where you're like, shit, and then you just suddenly realise everything.
Yeah,
and it used to be very good for that.
That's what I was saying last week. 9 times out of 10, there's the reveal at the end makes you go back and go like 15 minutes in was the signpost to that reveal, and you completely missed it. These last two doesn't really have that. They just seem to have a story, something weird end, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's just they're not reaching the peak, or they're not hitting the same heights as they have done in the past. But they've only got not even half an hour to do the whole story in. So when they want to do something folk horror like that, there's bound to be a few things they can't put in there, or can't squeeze in to make it a coherent story.
But it was good, but it's not where it was, and I don't know if that's just
What season are they on? This?
Season 7.
7.
Yeah.
But there's always been
End of life.
I don't know, because there's a lot of talent there. A shed load of talent.
And it's still really clever. Like, if they made that into like an hour and a half, that would have been really good. But
it's not like they're afraid of plagiarizing isn't the right word, but they're not afraid of using other things to
a lot of their
influence.
Paid tribute to all sorts.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no I reckon there's a lot more they can do, and they're going to continue to do. It's just it's not hitting the heights. So Paul, what's your highlight of this week that you watched on the telly box?
Oh, hold on. We're just talking one, or we're going to go through everything? Because I
was going to kind of sort of switch between the two to mix up a bit, so we don't get bored of each other's voices. But if you want to just drone on, then you.
No, one thing that I feel I need to mention is the season finale of Moonlight. Last week's ended on a real high. I'm desperately going to go off Twitter from Wednesday and trying to avoid any mention to Moonlight until I get a chance to watch it. Damien, I feel like sometimes we're trying to preach to you. Moonlight is nothing like anything you've seen on Marvel.
Or anything else.
Question number 1.
Yeah.
Do I need to know anything about Marvel to watch this?
No. Nothing.
Right, okay.
So
that's one on the tick box then.
Yeah, it's completely separate. It's more Egyptian gods type thing, surrealism, and a bit of heroism in there. But a lot of it is actually
it's not Mighty Boost surreal, is it?
No,
Right.
Otherwise I wouldn't watch it.
No more.
But a lot of it is just
Brian De Palma surreal.
No, not that. Not yeah. Well, okay, yeah. Maybe you're right. Yeah. But a lot of it is just the playoffs between who's the actor
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac, who plays two different characters that are in essence Moonlight.
Dissociative identity
Yeah.
disorder.
Okay, yeah.
But I've always thought he's done a sterling job. Brett dissed him to start with, but I think he's come around.
Here we go again. The only thing I ever dissed him in was his role as Apocalypse in the X-Men film.
You don't have to know anything about any of the other Marvel films, series, or anything. It's kind of standalone in that respect. It's really good. It's got the Ethan Hawke being a bad guy in it and a good guy, is he? Who knows? we'll find out in the final.
Well, I think that's what makes the good character of it, because he's one of those proper villains where, in his eyes, he's the hero.
Yeah.
But
he
also
thinks he's doing something rather than, oh, I'm going to take over the world.
Twiddling his moustache. And,
but
Yeah.
without giving too much away, the last episode is, well, maybe he is actually just a good guy, and maybe Oscar Isaac's character's got everything wrong, and maybe what is going on.
I need to watch that again because I think I missed something, but
But
it's just so much twist and turn in it.
I really enjoy it.
I would like to see a bit more Moonlight though.
And I was going to say that, but I think that may attract him into watching.
But again, I think also that's what we're building to, because this is, it's a 6-episode origin story, really, isn't it? That sort of thing.
There will be a season 2 by going on Twitter already from some of the stuff that they've been dropping.
Well, the problem was it was a Moonlight TV series, whatever it was, and then suddenly in the tweets of the final episode, they started calling it the season 1 finale, and all that. So everyone's going, "Wait a minute, you never used those words before."
Yeah,
and Marvel like,
there will be a season 2.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna pop up in some of the films somewhere, and it's a good way. I think this is the way to do it now.
But
you can have a little series.
But the whole thing about this, and you're right in some ways, because the Moonlight character is cool, but also that they are really building up the story without the superhero, and for me, that's really interesting, but because it's almost like a Batman film without the Batman that you really liked and I hated. So this is almost like the setting the scene for season 2, where it becomes hopefully Moonlight in battling whatever villain he's coming across. Maybe that's the same one in this season, or maybe it's a different one. But and I've said this to you so many times, and with some success and some unsuccess. but I think you'd enjoy Moonlight because it isn't a superhero film. It's more of the bumbling fool that also just so happens to have an alter ego that's kind of cool, but is also kind of flawed. But there's also this other. I'm trying not to give anything away. There's this other dimension to that whole thing, that is starting to unravel now, and I think we're only going to find out, hopefully, what the actual real life situation is in the final episode. It is good. So I know Marvel isn't your forte. We're still trying to work out what is. But I think you'd really enjoy Moonlight.
Okay.
And there's only 6.
I was just going to say, so
6 episodes.
Out of all of that waffle, I picked up on 2 things. One,
you might.
I don't need to know anything else about Marvel to watch it.
And it's also nothing like the other Marvel stuff.
Yeah, and 2, it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So and how long are the episodes?
45 minutes.
Yeah, I could do that.
I think the finale's a bit longer because it's the finale.
I mean, there are like 10 minutes of closing visuals with the end credits and the cartoon bits. You can fast forward them.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, so up to date on Moonlight, thankfully. So and looking forward to the season 1 finale on Wednesday. That was the first thing that I wanted to talk about. Over to you, Damien.
Oh, thank you. I've only watched 2 things this week. Inside Number 9 we've just talked about, so I won't go over that again.
And Moonlight.
And Moonlight, yeah. So I watched Life After Life. It's a TV show on...
Goldfinger.
I think it's on BBC. Yeah, it must be. Yeah, it was. I watched it on BBC iPlayer.
Rings a bell.
Yeah, we talked about it in our New Year thing. It was one of the list of shows that are coming up that sounded sort of interesting.
Who's in it? What's it about?
Well, if you let me talk.
No, I was just I was just setting that scene.
You waffled on for so long, my laptop's gone. There we go. It's back up. So it's based on a novel by Kate Atkinson, and the blurb goes: Ursula Todd dies one night in 1910 before she can draw her first breath. On that same night in 1910, Ursula is born and survives. And then basically the story follows this Ursula growing up, dying at certain points, being reborn, going through that. And so she doesn't remember the past in inverted commas. She doesn't remember her life before she
So
died,
it's
and
not
then
like
it
a
starts
sliding
again.
doors thing of like, here's what you
It's
would've
almost
done.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, and it goes through. So I think the first death, her first, other than the one when she dies straight away, the first death I think is she's about 8 or 9, and she falls from the window of her house, trying to retrieve a doll that her brother's tucked out the window. So the next time when it gets to that point, there's a kind of feeling sort of thing to do something different to retrieve, and it just continues up through that. And at one point, we do see her in her 90s, I think. But
in
then,
the 90s.
yeah, and then she dies of a ripe old age. But then it all starts again. But it's one of those things where none of that is actually explained. There's no rhyme or reason for it.
Time Lord?
We're just literally seeing how life can change. Like you just said, Brett, sliding doors. One thing can change, one thing lead to another. It's well shot. It's brilliantly acted. It looks stunning. It's a period thing. It's like
I get a feeling
1910,
it's not doing it for you though.
but it just doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the point of it is basically it's kind of, and this sounds like I'm trivializing it, and I don't mean to, but I think a lot of it is just about the problems women have had in the past by the violence that has been done to them by men. It's just that the fact that the show there is no conclusion to why this is happening, i.e., why she keeps being reborn, annoyed me.
Okay.
But apparently the book ends in the same way, so
Right.
it's not like they've done something and changed it to make a TV show. And like I say, it was an enjoyable watch, but for the likes of us, when we're watching something like that, we want to figure out the why.
Is there going to be another?
No. There's one book. There's no follow up book. There's not another novel. She's
based
just
on that,
done
I'm
the
not
one
gonna
story.
watch it.
See,
No.
it's
No.
it's genuinely
'cause
worth a
I
watch.
don't want to watch it, and then at the end of it thinking, "Meh."
I didn't leave it thinking meh. It would just been nice to have some form of
Closure.
explanation.
Yeah.
But every story that is told through each reincarnation is a worthwhile story to be told.
Okay.
And it's, like I say, it's nothing wrong with it,
So
as in how it's shot
just
and how it's
one-
acted.
One episode.
No, it was 4 episodes. I think it was. It was 4 or
Okay.
5.
Well, I might invest in it. Then.
But yeah, and
We do have a
each
few
each
potential
kind
box
of
sets coming out.
each death is different. Each iteration of a life
you don't want to
is
die in
different.
the same way. Let's face
No,
it.
you wouldn't, would you?
No.
It'd get boring after
Groundhog
90
Day and all
years.
that.
It would get boring. But yeah, would I recommend it? If you've got nothing else going on, so if you're not, fanboying over Doctor Strangelove and his universe
and I
nonsense.
always have Better Call Saul that's just been dropped, and Billions as well that's available. So a couple of box sets there.
Yeah, but I say it's only 4 episodes.
Yeah,
And as I say,
we can probably slot those.
I
in.
think this the point it's trying to make is a very valid one. It's just it could have just concluded better.
Yeah. Okay.
And I got to stop hitting this mic because it hasn't got a shot guard on it anymore.
Okay, next up on my list is the new BBC soon-to-be cult comedy Peacock.
Peacock,
Yes, it stars Alan...
produced by the BBC, not.
Yeah, BBC. It stars Alan Mustafa, who is probably better known as MC Grinder from People Just Do Nothing. But in this show, he plays a personal trainer who's on the wrong end of 30, and all his mates are sort of married or having kids and whatever else, and he's still sort of on his dating app and enjoying life, and various women who like to date personal trainers but don't really want a relationship with them because it's the fantasy of it and whatever else. And then there's this new personal trainer starting at his gym who's younger, better built. He's got the technology phone with all the gadgets on it and all the different things like that, and he's starting to feel a bit left behind in his life. And yeah, it's very funny, very reflective, very he's very much, the character of Andy, the guy in it, he's very much in the the Partridge Kenny Powers kind of thing, where he's not necessarily an evil person, but he can be a bit annoying, and you don't necessarily like him, but you watch it. You know, like he's not necessarily a likable person, but you do like watching him. The comedy comes from his reaction to the different things that are going on, if you know what I mean. But yeah, say 3 episodes so far. All 3 have been really good, and only like half an hour, so you're not, it's not mind blowing away. You've got to engage and switch on, but yeah, it's very much of almost our age and wondering what's going on. There's some nice bits like, because he normally goes down the pub with his mates on Man Down Monday, but like a couple of them had to babysit and all that, and he's starting to panic now because he hasn't got any mates to go down the pub with anymore because they've all got families and stuff. Yeah, so
that strike a chord.
there's a brilliant bit where he goes on his date and takes the girl back to. This is a spoiler to episode 1, but he takes the girl back to his house.
Ring the bell.
Spoiler bell. And he takes the girl who used to be in Corrie back to his house. And he tells her it's a house share. And she, that's good. And as he goes in, you're his mum's telling her, is that you? And all that. And then to prove it's a house share, though, as you get to his bedroom door, he's got, say their house is like number 50. On his bedroom door, he's got 50A in his own letterbox on the wall outside. And a placemat now. You should see I rent a room, so it is sublet. It is my own place. Which is quite a nice idea. But it's just like the little things like that. But to him, it is. And then like, he walks in, he's like, "Hello, Google, put it on sensual mode." And then the lights change, all the music comes on, and it's sort of he's expecting her to be wowed by this. But no, it's really good though. It's worth a watch. That was quite funny. I enjoyed that. And again, I think that will grow as time goes on. Robot Chicken.
Whoa, we're going back and forth here. We're going back and forth.
Okay, sorry.
Don't want to get bored of people's voices.
It's going to be really quick.
It's going to be really quick.
Yeah. So I was going to say, Robot Chicken just finished out their latest series. Again, usual stuff, but still quite enterening.
Robot Chicken, honestly. Okay, so I'm going to take your Robot
It's a bit
Chicken.
harsh.
Have you ever watched it?
No, because we're not into that. And
fun stuff.
So I'm asking you to cast your mind back to a trailer that we potentially previewed on the Cult Faction podcast some time ago, starring Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, John Bradley,
Flintstones
from Game of Thrones,
Flintstones 2,
and another number of other people.
Catwoman,
Moonfall.
Doesn't ring a bell.
We did watch the trailer to it, and I think we all scoffed at the fact that the moon.
Didn't we laugh at it? I remember us laughing at it.
So a mysterious force knocks the moon from its orbit around the Earth and sends it hurtling on a collision course with life as we know it. The reviews of my children. It's a great film. Great film. Okay, so children's ages are 9 and 15. They're all up for it. It said it was a great film. Where do I begin? So there's a lot of this.
He's getting his geek on.
That if anyone had any idea if the moon actually came really close to the Earth, it's not going to be a good thing. But the amount of surprise, oh well, you know what? Even if the moon came that close, then unless it had some amazing mass, it's not going to do too much damage. Well, it kind of would actually.
So if you put a hole in the moon, could we fly?
Oh, Brett, didn't you know? Didn't you know that there is a hole in the moon because the moon is a superstructure, and I need to say that because they say it so many times in this film. It's a superstructure, and did you know there's superstructure specialists? And yes, so it turns out that the moon has been around for a long, long time, which we all kind of knew. But it's not the moon. Oh no!
Is it a space station?
It's a superstructure sent by our forefathers from across the galaxy or universe, even
like Battlestar Galactica.
Similar, yeah. But then they got covered in like moon dust and stuff. And they used it to help life on Earth.
And they, of all the people in the whole universe, they had to go and see Halle Berry.
Well, she came to save the day as acting director for NASA after her predecessor basically quit the job because it was too difficult in light of everything else that was going on, and who else could do the job apart from Halle Berry.
Well,
But in essence,
these women are getting everywhere now.
and there are spoilers.
Oh.
Ring the bell. And I'm only saying this because, you know, if you watch the film, then it doesn't really matter about the spoilers. If you really want to watch the film, watch the film, and you'll enjoy it for what it is. So, as I said, four bearers of Earth gave us the moon to basically create Earth and like look after the humans that will be based on their DNA. But only after the AI they constructed killed off their civilization, but the AI found us.
It is Battlestar Galactica.
Pretty much, yeah. You can see where this is going. So in essence, this is the battle to try and save the Earth from the AI, which is trying to destroy the Earth by getting the moon to crash on it. I'm trying to find positive things to say about it.
Or you could just say it's really shit and we move on.
No, you're trying to get me to move on. But I will go against that for the listeners out there.
For the listeners out there, I am moving this along, so we're going to pick it up right at the very end. If you want to watch it, just watch it.
This isn't completely shit. Okay.
Sounds completely shit.
It does sound completely shit. However, it's not completely shit. There are some good ideas. The problem is we've seen them all before or heard them all before.
Okay. Well, I have actually just remembered I've been watching something that I'm actually quite enjoying as well.
Ooh,
So,
hey!
Vera.
No, I've watched Grace, but that's not for this podcast, so we won't touch on that. I'll just have a chat with Lee about it separately.
Is it the Wiggles?
No, I've been watching on Netflix a series called Pieces of Her. It stars Toni Collette and some other people. Terry O'Quinn's in it, actually.
Yay!
So I got excited about
I
when I
like
saw him
him.
pop up. But the rest of the cast are just faces, so I'm not going to bother listing them. Basically, so episode 1 is it's a young girl about 30 something. Actually, she's 30. It's her 30th birthday.
A young girl.
Yeah. Well,
That shows our age.
exactly. It does show her age. So young girl, she's 30. She's back living with her mum in a kind of annex, something or another. They go out for dinner. She's a not a first responder. She takes the calls for the police call center, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
There is a specific name for it, but I forget what it's called. So she's got her full on police uniform on, but she's obviously not a police officer. She's just doing that. That's her job. And then there's a shooting in the cafe that they're having dinner in, and her mum stands up to the shooter, gets stabbed in the hand, and then slices the guy's neck all in kind of one swift movement.
Cool.
That's all caught on people with phones, cameras, etc. And then it's the story starts to unravel that her mum isn't who she says she is. She's something else. So
She's a kick-ass assassin.
So about 4 or 5 episodes in, it's good. That's where you think it's going, Paul. Is like Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yeah.
It is Long Kiss Goodnight. Isn't it?
Nobody.
Yeah.
It was a bit like that.
Bit like, yeah, that's where you think it's going, but
And again,
there's a
Toni
few other
Collette,
twists and turns.
She's not an actress that would pick.
No, it's really good. It's a really good show.
Any role, she can pick and choose.
It is good. I won't anymore. Will give
No,
the
that's
game
cool.
away.
No,
So I
no,
won't.
that's fair enough.
But
I think that's one of those things on Netflix that I've seen over the last, couple of
is it
weeks.
Netflix?
Yeah, it is, I think. 'Cause I remember
It is
I
Netflix.
saw
Yeah.
that on Gogglebox and thought, oh, I'm going to watch that. Cool.
So Brett, what have you been watching?
Okay, a few I'm going to bunch together.
Please do, because we're running out of time.
Yeah. Hot Fuzz and World's End were always good to revisit, and what I like about those films is every time you watch it, you spot something else, and that's really cool. The current series of The Flash has just finished in the UK with the Armageddon storyline, and it's crawling back a little bit into the good books. It's been getting there. It's what they do next now, though, because they've just had this like big 5-part super story, and now they've got to either keep on that momentum, or they'll get another writer in now, and it'll just be a crap episode next.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's but obviously with recent events, I'm not too sure what's going on there, but we'll talk about that later on. The mission is getting really good. The French.
Oh, is that the one you talked about last week?
Yeah, I've only had a chance to watch a couple more episodes, and I know about as much as what's going on as I did last week, because it is as I said, it's a slow burn, half an hour an episode, and it is just a bit weird, and it's one of those you do need to kind of watch it, and obviously with subtitles you can't just have it on because you don't know what's going on. You need to actually sit there and take note, and that's been good. But my big one this week is, last week I said I'd found the series, which was Mission. This time I think I've found the film. That's everyone's going to go, oh man, what film?
Oh man, what film?
It's called.
Man, what film?
There you go. It's called Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I don't know if you've heard of it or not.
Heard of it.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be massive and win all the Oscars and everything else. And it's
So just for our listeners as well, because I remember actually it was quite some time ago. You came up to us and said, just watch a film called Parasite. You need to watch it. This is a great film. That didn't do too badly.
I've got a good track record.
Yeah, not that I'm bigging this up. So
Yeah.
is this going to have the same?
Well, it's totally
same
different
appeal.
style of film.
Yeah,
I would say though that if you throw enough shit, some of it's going to stick. He's made us watch some god awful films, so
Yeah, but
picking out Parasite out of
give me
copious amounts of.
Yeah, but there are films when I said you need to watch this. It's awful. That's not the same as like this
He's
is the
backtracking
film.
now.
Okay, moving on.
Greener Grass, which you still hold against me. I said I
I'll
lasted
hold that
20
against you
minutes.
forever.
Move it on. Come on.
But yeah, Michelle Yeoh plays.
Hang on, whoa.
You wanted us to move it on. I'm just trying to help you move it on.
Oh,
Don't-
now that you've done your bit,
No,
now that
because
you've
you
waffled on for
told-
15 to
you done what
25
you meant
minutes,
to
you want
me.
us to waffle?
I'm more than happy to
Yeah.
waffle.
You haven't watched Greener Grass yet, have you, Paul?
No, absolutely not. I'm probably not going to
What was
either.
the other one?
Damien's review of it.
Oh no, yeah, we watched The Bubble because you told us to. You have to.
No, I didn't. I told you not to watch it. That's the whole point. It was that
So
bad.
anyway, yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once. It it's out on the 13th of May, and it stars Michelle Yeoh as Evelyn Kwan.
Michelle Yeoh.
Recently she was the badass one in Star Trek on Netflix. What's it called? Star Trek
Yeah,
Discovery.
yeah.
She's,
Although new Star Trek as well. We
yeah.
probably should talk about that at some point.
Oh yeah. Her
Oh,
husband
yes,
in
we
this is played by
Good reviews.
Her husband Waymond, and that's written. It's not John Watty. Is played by Ki-Hugh Kwan, who many of you will remember from the Goonies and Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis pops up. Her father is played by the legendary hero of cult himself, James Hong,
Sweet.
Lopan himself, and three other faces in that
Hold
pickup.
on. What's this on?
It's coming out in cinema.
Oh, right, okay.
It's from next Monday you can see it at Harbour Lights with the previews.
Sweet.
Which is before the normal release date. Basically, I'll give you the spiel because I don't want to give anything away. So I'll try.
I would really love you to
not
give us
to.
a spill, as long as you can give us a spill
Using a
into the
microphone.
microphone.
When an
Just breathe
interdimensional.
then. Just breathe. I heard him.
You're just talking over me.
I know because you were breathing.
I'll breathe on you in a minute, you bastard. When an interdimensional rupture unravels reality, an unlikely hero must channel her newfound powers to fight bizarre and bewildering dangers from the multiverse as the fate of the world hangs in the balance.
I think you've just lost Damien when you were doing the spiel.
No,
If I'm honest, I think he's just signed out.
No, 'cause
I'm
it,
still with you.
it doesn't have the big red banner above it.
Bruce Banner.
No, the big red banner with Marvel written on it. It doesn't have that.
It mentioned multiverse, so you're
The
still
Multiverse existed long before Marvel
saying you're
picked it
still
up and
there.
started.
there.
this is more. This is more. Do you remember Sliders?
Yep.
I'd say there's a sprinkling of Sliders on this, and a sprinkling of The Matrix, kind of, and a sprinkling
The Good
of...
Matrix.
Yeah, The Good Matrix. There's only one Matrix film.
Yeah.
And the sprinkling of... what else might it have? I'm just trying to think. No, 'cause it covers kind of a lot of things, but there's a humour to it, but it's also really serious, and it's just really solid, and really it's the way it does it is a way I would say probably hasn't been done before to such a on a major way. This is like it's got a big budget. It's a big thing, and it's Daniel Kwan and Daniel. I never say it properly. Is it Shiner? And they're just called the Daniels when they direct. They've done a few films and that, but yeah, no, it's just really good. Something I wasn't quite sure what to expect. Sometimes it goes a bit off its tit. Sometimes it's back to normal. There's some really weird stuff, and the weirdest reference to Ratatouille ever in the history of cinema.
As in
the cartoon.
the cartoon or the
as
food?
in the cartoon film.
Right. No, they're referencing
The cartoon.
the cartoon,
Yeah.
not the
Not
meal.
the dish.
Yeah.
No, yeah, the cartoon.
okay.
Yeah. And of all things, like Ratatouille is like a. Yeah, I don't know. It's just really random. It's just really cool.
I don't think I've ever actually seen the film, but the ride at Disneyland is good.
I love the film.
I don't think I've ever seen it, but Disneyland, the ride, Ratatouille, the ride's cool. It's really good. About 3 times when I was there last.
The film came out before we went to Paris, or just after we went to Paris. So it kind of reminds me of when we went there.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so glad you remember.
No, but it's quite cool. Seeing this little rat go around Paris and thinking, no.
There's a lot of rats in Paris. Right. Anyway, it's currently sitting at 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's got a lot of
After how
Oscar
many
buzz as well,
reviews?
hasn't it?
Yeah, and I think this is Kehu Kwan. This could be his ticket back to the super big time because he's always been around. But it's just weird watching him, knowing that it's Short Round and Data for Guineas. Now that he's
well, he's directed a shed load of stuff.
That's what I mean. He's directed stunt work. I mean, he's guys work.
Yeah, he's never been out of work.
It just surprised me, and again, you need to watch it to talk about it. But I don't want to get all about just how he acts. Is I don't know. I didn't expect him to be that good an actor. I knew he was a stunt dude. I knew he was other stuff, but he's actually a really good character actor as well. And there is, if you pay attention, there is a Short Round sort of reference.
Straight.
Cool. But yeah, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Go check it out.
Cool. Okay, so I need to give a shout out, I guess. We've been talking about Apple TV and what's on Apple TV. Why subscribe to Apple TV, even though you've probably forgotten to unsubscribe.
BritBox is good.
Shut up. I'm not paying for something that should be free. So recently, and I don't think I've talked about this before. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, I will.
Because it's something that Sean and I have been delving in and out of, TV-wise. And that's Slow Horses.
No, because it's only out recently.
Yeah.
That's the one with
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman, and it only dropped.
Oh no, I won't see that. I saw him on the one show.
We previewed it, if you like, a couple of weeks back.
So Slow Horses is basically the place where MI5 agents that have failed go to either end their career or prove that they can wait it out and do their time to come back to proper service. So Gary Oldman heads up for want of a better term, the Slow Horses division, and it ensues that there's a big thing going down. I've got a couple of issues with this. In the fact that I absolutely love Gary Oldman, and this no, I think he's a fantastic actor. This has him as being, or at least the first few episodes has him being this I don't give a shit kind of cop. Fine, I'll take that. I sleep in my desk or because I'm not going home and I drink at work. Fine, I'll take that. You know how actors, when they're a cop, they have their quirk. You know, it may have been a lollipop or a dangly piece of string for the cats.
Yep. There's very few people that get that reference, but I'm with you.
I'm trying to think on that one. Who had the dangly bit of string for cats?
Think of Scrooged.
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Trying to make it appealing for watchers.
Do you know how many pets are watching television? Anyway,
Yeah. We digress.
we've lost him for a change.
Don't think I watched Scrooge. I remember the bit with Lee Majors.
Yeah, that's at the very start, is it? Oh, Lee Majors. Right, I've seen it now. I'm off. That's the only bit you watched.
Yeah, that's it. Is he in it again? No, I'm done.
Anyway, so Gary Oldman's trait, his quirk is not a lollipop that he sucks. It's not a what's a one last thing.
I know that one.
It's not a anything like that. He farts.
Okay.
He just farts.
Some people think that's really cool.
Yeah, but they're trying to make this like a serious crime, MI5, big old action thing. You got like a top actor there, and his quirk is he farts, and they're really smelly farts. So he's having serious conversations with like the head of MI5 that's meeting him in some secret rendezvous, and it's like, okay, so I hate to say this, but I'm going to need your help. Can you and your crew of misfits help us out? Oh my god, what was that? And it's like,
that just sounds like, didn't they do that in the Pink Panther when they were in the lift?
Mm.
Or
Yeah,
one of the
maybe.
Pink Panther films.
but you kind of think, really? Is this supposed to be a serious?
When Gary Oldman was on the One Show talking about this, he said that he'd wanted to do an episodic TV show for ages. He said he loves them all, and he was talking about like Breaking Bad and all that. And he said he'd always wanted to do one, and the right one hadn't come along. And then he got offered that, and he was a massive fan of the books, apparently.
Right, so maybe it's part of the books.
Yeah.
But the way they've done it
But
is
seriously though, is your only hang up about this that the main lead farts?
because it takes away everything from every serious moment, and it doesn't hang true with everything else to do with him. Yes, he's a down and out in his role, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking that's Gary Oldman, and you just keep reusing the.
Are you just disappointed that Gary Oldman farts?
No, but they keep reusing this pun of him farting at the most impromptu moment,
Inopportune.
inopportune moment, and you think, well, all right, the first time I did it, it wasn't funny, but let it slide. He's a bit of a reprobate, but they keep rehashing it like this is his lollipop Kojak moment or whatever. The rest of it's okay actually, and there are some really good twists and turns. But as I said, we're I think we're 3 episodes in.
It's still fine.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and for me that's a real. If you're going to make it funny, make it funny.
Farts are funny though.
Maybe like in episode 5, he finds out that he eats too much kimchi or something. I don't know.
Potentially.
Maybe there is a plot point which he's not got to yet.
It just.
Yeah, that could be it. Maybe he's on medication for his IBS, and that somehow saves the day.
Anyway, watch it, because, as I said, that they haven't made it funny enough to be funny, and it just seems so wrong, and it just seems to take away stuff from the rest of the episode. It kind of spoils it. Give him a catchphrase, give him a some prop, but to make him have like just stinky farts, respect Gary Oldman is all I'm saying. So that's the Apple TV series that I want to give a shout, because I know we were talking about like the streaming services and the service war.
Service war.
That will no doubt be hitting us over the next few years. We also went to the cinema. I need to give a quick recognition to the fact that we went to the cinema.
What did you go and see?
So, Brett, much excitement in the Hawkins household for Sonic 2.
I do want to see it.
So, it doesn't disappoint. It generally doesn't disappoint. It's really good. I'm not going to go into too
no
much
spoilers.
detail.
No spoilers.
It kind of is everything that we hoped it would be. There's the old slapstick comedy.
They've already announced a third one, haven't they?
I'm not surprised, because it's a good formula. You've got the love-hate relationship with Thingy Bob's sister and his sister-in-law. that is in full effect here in Sonic 2. You got Tails introduced into the franchise, as is Knuckles, played by Idris Elba, I think, or at least that's who it sounded like. If it wasn't him,
I think that's I think it was him. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jim Carrey does a sterling role at being Eggman.
Yeah, Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, but it's good.
I'm feeling that the next World Book Day may have been decided for me.
You got a chance to grow out your tash.
Yeah.
I don't need to harp on about it. It's a good family watch. There's highs, there's lows. Yeah,
I think there even might be a 3 and a 4.
I've got one last thing that I wanted to chat about, because again, even though we didn't watch it at the cinema, we did buy Uncharted.
Any good?
So
That's Marky Mark and Spider-Man, isn't
it? Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, this was the one that Tom Holland went out of his way.
Based on the game, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, Tom Holland, being the businessman as well as the actor, recognised the fact that there may be a film in here. And I'll say this to him, there is a potential franchise there. Him and Mark Wahlberg, they've got good on-screen chemistry. It's not earth-shattering or groundbreaking, I want to say, but it sets it up well. Tom Holland does a great job. As I said, there's good chemistry, good plot lines. Antonio Banderas, nice bad guy, but there's still twists in the tale. But it's one of those, adventures where you go all over the globe, i.e. Indiana Jones, as we were talking about the other week. That is, the old treasure hunt type film. You have to forgive its sins, but I would have paid to watch that at the cinema, and not been disappointed.
Okay.
News desk.
The news.
News items. News items.
Time for the news.
Yay!
Now, before I read this first headline out,
Uh-oh.
please bear in mind we did about 17 minutes at the start about Marvel. So,
So now we're doing 30 minutes about Marvel.
It's Marvel Hour.
Marvel. That's our new catchphrase.
Yeah, that's going.
It's marvelous.
2023 will have more Marvel movies than ever before.
Yay! It's just what you wanted to hear, Damien. So, cast your mind back to 2008. Marvel released Iron Man, which, let's face it, after some of the films that it released before then, split the cinema alight and was a fantastic film. And in the 14 years since, they have released a total of 26 movies under the MCU banner. In addition to this, licensing agreement have meant that Fox have been able to release multiple X-Men movies, and Sony have been able to develop the Spider-Man franchise to limited success. Okay, but it's also been under the Marvel guidance and framework. This has meant that popular comic book heroes have dominated the box office. Yes! And the dominance is set to continue into next year, when there will be more Marvel movies released in a single year than ever before.
Yay.
4 of those will be in the MCU. The Marvels will see the first live-action team-up of Carol Danvers, Kamala Khan, and Monica Rambeau. Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man and the Wasp have sequels, and a yet unnamed title is due to land, possibly a Blade reboot. Which
they are working on that.
Exactly. Sony will also be releasing 3 new movies with Marvel characters. In terms of live action releases, Sony will expand its Spider-Man villain spin-offs with Kraven the Hunter and Madam Web, both getting solo outings, and the long-awaited sequel to Into the Spider-Verse has been pushed back to the 2023 release.
That was good.
Lots for Marvel in 2023.
Plus probably a few TV shows chucked in as well.
And beyond.
Woohoo!
Okay, so that was a lot of spiel. Damien, is there anything in there I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy.
You like that one?
You like that one?
I liked the first one. The
Yeah,
second
that
one
one
was a
was a
bit
favourite.
The
nonsense.
second
The
one wasn't as good.
whole Kurt
I'm
Russell
there
shite
with
at the
you.
end was just no. So no, that doesn't float my boat.
Man,
X-Men, I've seen 2 of them, possibly, maybe 2 of them. One I went to the cinema to see back in 2001. Don't remember
Yeah.
it. Couldn't give a shit about any of
with
them.
X-Men, I'm there with you. Yeah, we spoke about this earlier. Other
Yes,
than
we did.
Wolverine, they've always kind of been a bit of a disappointment, and I think everyone is waiting for a decent
That's because
X-Men.
they've never done it right. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. Everyone's waiting for a proper X-Men film. You know, that's,
I'm not.
If it was done well,
You are, but you just don't realise it.
if it was done well, as like the old comic books.
Well, that's the
Had
thing. If
them-
you're going to call it X-Men First Class, have the First Class in it. Don't just pick people that you thought might be good
Yeah.
for a film. Because that just ruins everything else then.
Yeah. Sony. Okay, so Sony are releasing 3 new movies with Marvel characters.
Sony are going to release everything they can and hope one of them is liked.
Yeah, without any thought about
How they link together or anything.
exactly. And you know, we've said it before that I actually thought Venom was okay. Lots of people disagreed with
I think the Venom films got better.
yeah.
But Kraven the Hunter, great thing, but he hunts Spider-Man. Kraven on his own, what's the point? Madame Web is like a fringe character at the best of times in a fringe thing. No one's going to care about a lady that sits on a throne in the middle of the Spider-Verse unless it is the Spider-Verse film. Sony, just give it all back because you haven't got the other bits of the jigsaw puzzle to do it properly. So you keep digging down for these fringe characters that you can make a film about, but then you can't make it properly because you haven't got that character or whatever, or just sort it out with Marvel and just do it both together like you've done with Spider-Man.
I think this harks back to the point that obviously Marvel have a big plan, multiverse of madness, potentially uprising of X-Men in the way that it should be done, hopefully.
And Fantastic Four.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's had some shocking films that could have been brilliant.
Mm-hmm. I still think the one that they're going to build towards will be, whether they call it or not, they might give it a different name, but there's going to be a Young Avengers movie. All the characters are there now. They're setting out all the younger, you've got the girl from Hawkeye, you've got all the different bits.
Well,
And,
it's either that, whether it be Young Avengers or that they're just, turn up in the next couple of films.
No, but I think that'll be the next sort of crossover type thing.
But what was the one recently, the kind of X-Men, I want to say X-Men spin-off, which was pretty much the early years, and it had the woman of
not New Mutants.
Game of Thrones, New Mutants, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't an X-Men.
No, exactly, but that's what I'm saying. So hopefully they won't do that, and they just introduce them in the...
Oh, no, I think we'll have them all introduced at some point. They'll have to team up in a movie, and that'll be when they...
Don't make it a teen Marvel movie, because I just think that'd be slated and completely wrong. It
depends what they do. Yeah, I mean, but a lot of the characters have been introduced, haven't they?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Introduce the characters collectively, but don't make it it's a teen...
There's something to happen, and there'll be...
movie.
Maybe the other ones get
and
captured,
all the grown-ups
and they have to
yeah. By Doctor Terror or whatever.
Doctor Doom will be good.
Doctor Doom, yeah.
If they're doing Fantastic Four. But yeah, no, it's there to do, and if it's done properly, it should do really well. But all seems well in the Marvel hood anyway.
Yeah.
Good. It's warmed the cockles of my heart, that has. In other news, Legends of Tomorrow and Batwoman have been cancelled by CW.
Despite neither show being a ratings failure, both Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow have been cancelled. Yeah, and some other series have been cancelled as well. I think only 2 survived. It's likely this is down to the fact that CW owners Warner and Paramount are looking to offload the network, as we mentioned a few weeks ago, and not having 2 shows with ensemble cast make it a much more attractive proposition. Maybe they just couldn't live up to their expectations to deliver it. I don't know.
Legends
has been going for 7 seasons.
Yeah. And it
Seven's just finished,
yeah,
isn't
and
it,
it
more or
just
less?
ended on a cliffhanger.
And it ended
as
on a
well.
cliffhanger, yeah. And Batman's, what, 3 seasons in, and
Yeah,
Different.
properly picked up. It
it's
had
got
that
really
blip,
good.
didn't it, when they changed?
Was that the one with the different actress?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it kind of faltered a bit, but both shows are riding high. So
It's again coming back to the fact that they don't have the overarching capacity to monitor all of the stuff that they're producing. So
no, because it was all very well put together.
Yeah,
so
the Arrowverse stuff, the TV
Legends
shows
came
done
from
really well.
Arrow.
But a lot of the Arrowverse stuff they've just got rid of.
well,
they-
Arrow
they-
came to a natural end because of there's only so far you can go with saving the city that's been saved every
Yeah.
season. For
Oh, you'd be
7.
No,
surprised.
Black
Welcome to the
Lightning was
comic
the
world.
same. Black Lightning ended, but he does pop up. He was in the Flash actually last week. I forgot the other ones now. Supergirl came to an end, but you've still got Lois and Superman and Lois. That's doing massive numbers.
But I'm surprised they haven't gone back and done a Krypton
Well, they did the series,
film.
but they did 2 seasons of that, but then they cancelled that.
Yeah.
Stargirl's still going, so I think there's about 4 Arrow series left now, unless they bring any more sort of things out. But again, this is prime example of what we said the other day with Warner. How did they phrase it? Were they rearranging their thing or
They're
whatever?
rearranging their offering or something like that.
But I guess for Legends and Batwoman, they've still got the chance that there are other shows. I guess maybe whatever happens, they haven't got to the end of Legends yet, but maybe the Flash can go and help them or something. Like they've got the space to appear in someone else's show. Batwoman could move to wherever the Flash
Potentially, though, but I
lives, or-
think if I'm an actor that's been in a show for 7 seasons, because most of them, the main cast are still in it, aren't they?
Yeah.
A few like Dominic. Didn't Dominic Purcell?
he
didn't
left at the end of the last season. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's still that core.
Yeah, still 3 or 4 that have been in it right the way through.
I'm not so sure that I would sign up to do the odd episode of The Flash or the odd episode of
But a lot of them
Stargirl or
had,
whatever.
because like Dominic Purcell, David Ramsey, who's directing a lot more of them now, and Captain Cold, Prison Break bloke.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Wentworth Miller.
Wentworth Miller, that's it. Yeah.
They have like Arrowverse contracts. Like they're almost like they've almost got like on a per appearance basis.
Yeah.
Same as the Damien Dark bloke, Neil McDowell, whatever his name is now. So they can be in Legends one week, you can be in that one, and they just get paid the same amount on what show they're in.
It's almost like a retainer fee.
Yeah, so it's all no. So I guess if they've done it on that, it's a guaranteed payday once a month while they wait for a new show to come out.
Yeah, but I think that only works when you're that Damien Dark kind of.
But
That's
like
what you sign up for at the start.
but like a Sarah Lance.
Yeah, she wouldn't have signed up for that. She would have signed up as a cast member. There's a whole
I
difference
know, I
there.
get what you mean.
So I think if that's
but a lot of them are all they're all good mates though, aren't they, as well? So it's that kind of, or the original sort of ones.
we're all good mates. I wouldn't sign up to do every other podcast because I couldn't be asked to do one. But no.
Oh yeah, no, I get what you mean though.
He
But
says that now. So, all right. So we could talk about this for hours.
Well, we're not going to.
Are we just saying that they are in trouble? We know they're in trouble. They know they're in trouble.
No, I don't think they're in trouble. They just simply want to offload CW. It's the shows that are on the CW are more youth orientated, aren't they?
yeah, sort of teen drama, yeah,
Teen
you've got
dramas,
your
teen stuff,
Riverdales, your
Riverdale, yeah, that
Supernatural.
sort of stuff, and that's not the direction that Warner and Paramount want to see themselves going. So
But
that's
it's
why they
a-
want to offload the CW.
But
But to offload the CW, its proposition at the moment is cast members. So Legends of Tomorrow is a good example actually because it's been going for 7 years. Season 1, they were probably paid $5,000 an episode.
Yeah,
Now they're going to be on contracts
Yeah.
where they're getting 10, 20,
and there's
30,000
like
per
9
episode.
main members of the cast,
Yeah.
or something, aren't there?
Exactly. See, a prime example of that is not Murder in Mind, Criminal Minds. They kept taking people out and putting people back in Criminal Minds because the likes of something Gobbler, I can't remember his name now. One of the lead guys in that was getting paid like $50,000 per episode. So they were going, right, well, we're doing 16 episodes this season.
And you're only going to be an 8.
You're going to be 8
Yeah.
of them. And, that's why the different people were coming in and out of it.
It's a good job they make us a friends and think of it the same way.
Yeah.
Where's Joey? Oh, he's getting a pizza. What, still? He's been getting them
All
for,
month.
for 3 episodes. I mean, 3 weeks.
So, yeah, I think it's that. They need to basically, like a football club, get rid of their high earners to make the club saleable.
Yeah.
And this is
As
what the
well
CW
as
are
the
doing.
fact that they're putting someone in charge to try and get all this, all the DC stuff back into line again. So maybe they'll let this
maybe
whittle out and then bring it all
centering their
back up.
focus?
I think that's just wishful thinking.
Well, yeah, it
It
is
is
for
wishful
me, but that's what they've said they want to do. But
Get rid of the chaff.
Paramount Plus is set for a June launch in the UK and some other places in Europe, but I just put UK because I couldn't be bothered to read the rest out.
God, lots of spiel on this one. So, after months of speculation and vague rumours, the CEO of Paramount has finally revealed the launch date for Paramount Plus UK. The next big question is, what will it be on? Well, for Star Trek fans, we know it will be...
What will it be on?
what will be on it?
What will be on it, rather. So for Star Trek fans, we know it will be the home of Star Trek Discovery, having been removed from Netflix last year, and the new upcoming series Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Yay!
Yay.
Well done, Damien. That actually looks quite good, actually. It's still unclear what the future holds for the final season of Star Trek Picard, as Prime Video had the rights to the first 2 seasons. Paramount have announced a long list of scripted and unscripted shows from other studios such as Showtime, BET, CBS, Comedy Central, MTV, Nickelodeon, Paramount Pictures, and the Smithsonian Channel, which likely means a long list of sitcoms, documentaries, and reality shows. But for listeners of this podcast, it's likely the main shows of interest are Halo, yes, Ripley, and The Man Who Fell to Earth. In the UK, Paramount Plus will be a standalone streaming app to which anyone can subscribe. Available in all the usual places you get your streaming apps for the price of $6.99 per month or $69.90 per year. However, they have also set up a deal with Sky that will see Sky Cinema customers get the service for free, as part of their package, and also make it available as an add-on to some Sky Q Plus customers, much like they do with Netflix.
Awesome, so I get it for free.
So,
I've got Sky Cinema.
in essence, Paramount Plus.
I was going to cancel it, but I'll keep it now. Sorry.
So they're taking a lot of the stuff off from what may have been on other services, and
Content was.
yeah, which is what we talked about before. But there's some good stuff on there that I want to see.
If you've got Sky Cinema, you get it anyway.
I'm through Virgin though, so nothing's a given. It's a weird one because there's a load. I mean, yeah, I read it out, so I know there's a lot of stuff in there. But there genuinely is a lot of old stuff, new stuff that's just in the makes to be released, and then it's the new stuff that hasn't even been made yet.
Yeah, well, you think of all the stuff like Showtime, all the stuff on there, Comedy Central, MTV, going back to all the
And
TV
MTV
shows.
doesn't even make music anymore.
Yeah,
Who knew?
Nickelodeon. You know, Paramount, let alone the actual Paramount films.
So, well,
There's a lot.
Nickelodeon doesn't excite me. MTV doesn't excite me. Comedy Central, to be fair, doesn't really excite me. When we get Comedy Central over here, I know it's different, but a lot of the stuff on Comedy Central is still from the States.
I think
So that doesn't excite me.
I think it's a
Showtime,
weird-
yeah, maybe.
I think-
CBS. There's might be some cool old shows there.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go out and pay for
No,
old shows.
No, but
I'm
the
not
weird-
paying.
no, but the
I get it for
interesting
free.
thing
I've got
is-
Sky Cinema.
I haven't got Sky Cinema.
Uh-huh.
I don't want Sky Cinema.
but I obviously want to see Halo, and I want to do that in a legal way because I'm an upstanding.
Well, I want to see
law-abiding-
Halo. I want to see Ripley, and I want to see the Man Who
Yeah.
Fell to Earth. Hence why I put
I'm
them on the
guessing
list.
Is
but-
Ripley like Alien?
Yeah.
Yeah, is Paramount Plus going to take this off of stuff that would otherwise give to the likes of Sky or Virgin, or does this mean I have to subscribe to them?
Well, I don't know about
it's
Halo.
a big deal.
Ripley has always been a Paramount Plus show. from its inception, it's always been it's going to be on Paramount Plus. I don't know about Halo. I think, and I certainly don't know about The Man Who Fell to Earth. But what you've got to think about, and you're right, Paul. So, the Around the World in 80 Days, or the David Tennant incarnation of that, that's a Paramount. And then obviously that was on BBC, however many months ago, Christmas time, wasn't it? I think
it was Christmas time. So we did the review of what's coming up for Christmas.
So if you think about it,
and I didn't watch it. Did any of you guys?
No, I didn't watch it.
No, it's on my box for ages now. Deleted it.
Whether we watched it or not is irrelevant to the conversation. The point is, it was on BBC because there isn't a platform over here that Paramount own. So fast forward in a year's time when they're doing something similar, it won't be on BBC. It will be on the Paramount Plus app, streaming service, whatever you want to call it.
But this harks back to all the conversations that we've had in the past. They're going out on their own, but this is another thing that people have to subscribe to.
Unless you got Sky Cinema.
But how long is it going to last?
Yeah,
is my point.
It's 10 years.
And you just kind of wonder whether they're doing themselves a disservice by forcing people to subscribe, or whether people are just going to say, "Oh, like I don't actually watch Apple TV too much because of that bloody program where that cop keeps farting, and there's not much out. Ted Lasso's not for a while, so maybe I'll cancel my subscription there and go in for Paramount."
So is your whole thing on this that you're worried people are not going to subscribe to Apple TV?
No, my point is
That's
is
what
that
it sounds like.
Don't get me started, Brett.
Yeah.
But what I mean is that
for the love of God, don't get them started.
At the moment, I'm there with Apple thinking, I could cancel that subscription. I'm there with Amazon thinking your user interface is crap. I could cancel you. Shudder, I'm thinking I've got no idea actually how to cancel my subscription with you because I can't even remember
Paul,
how.
What exactly is your point?
I think the more services out there, there's going to be a shift, and there will be some winners and there will be some losers. So similarly, as we've seen from Netflix, which dropped 25% in like one day because of lack of subscribers the other week, you're going to see that across the board. I think, particularly with the likes of maybe not Apple as such because Apple TV is in part of the brand. But you'll see this across the board until they come to a point where the levels the playing field, and they either recognise the fact they need to buddy up again with the big providers like Sky or Virgin or the in the UK at least, or it's just going to be for the consumers a complete nightmare. That's the point.
So in a roundabout way, you've got background to what we said months ago, which is the consumer that loses out. Streaming services were supposed to kick it to the man in cable. Get rid of cable. No one likes cable anymore. Far too many adverts. Blah, 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 etc., etc. It costs too much per month.
And then they start their own ones.
They all start their own ones. I think what is going to happen is, over the course of 10 years, we're going to start relying on carriers like Virgin and Sky again. But to be fair, the only reason I put this in the news was because I thought we'd have a nice, interesting conversation about Halo, Ripley, and the Man Who Fell to Earth. That's failed to materialise, and it's time to move on.
We might next week.
Yeah. So, in happier news, Sergeant Slaughter is back in the G.I. Joe universe.
Yay!
The WWE Hall of Famer is back, and he is becoming a figurehead for Hasbro's G.I. Joe range once more. What that means, we're not sure yet, but if they're hiring the real life man to come in and be the character for various conventions and things, chances are there must be what we all want is like another series in the pipeline, maybe some cartoon G.I. Joe stuff. Maybe a decent film finally, but
it'll be interesting to see how they spin that after like recent world events.
Definitely. I mean, Sergeant Slaughter as it was, or if UK fans remember back in the day, he was Sergeant Slammer, because we weren't allowed to have Slaughter as a good guy's name in cartoons at that point.
But we are now.
Yeah, now we can. But he's going to have a new classified figure out in the range, a limited edition one, no doubt. It'll cost stupid money that you can only find one in every 10 states or whatever it is. But G.I. Joe on the comeback once more. And again, the only bit I was a bit not so happy about is there's been a lot of talk about G.I. Joe and things like this, but let's talk about the Hasbroverse that about a year ago they were pimping out and pushing.
That's right.
Where they were going to put all the different things
Yeah.
together, and it hasn't. That seems to have gone a little bit quiet. So it's like, Sergeant, I like Sergeant Slaughter could pop up in Mask. I'd be
Yeah.
happy with that.
Be a buddy of Miles Mayhem. That would be awesome.
Probably
Yeah.
the whole money of buying franchises or licenses or
No, they got them all. They own them all now, and they had a writers' room because it was Mask, G.I. Joe. There's about 5 series, Micronauts, and they had a writers' room. Transformers, I think, was one, and they were trying to put it all because it was all going to be like the Hasbro verse.
yeah.
Because Mask was going to be an offshoot, was going to be like basically a special G.I. Joe team, which they did a Matt Tracker figure years ago, and it come off of that or something. So it would all link in. Venom was part of Cobra,
Yeah.
and all that. Which, yeah, but we will see.
They need a vision.
They need a vision. Now they got a sergeant. Hopefully, it would lead them through. Neil Adams, the comic book legend, who basically revitalized comics, revitalized Batman, passed away at the age of 80. He was a massive campaigner for artists' rights as well, that they got paid for their work and maybe own their work. He did Batman. He made the Joker more homicidal. He revived Two-Face. He created Ra's al Ghul. A lot of the stuff that Christopher Nolan did in his films came from his work. He also drew the legendary Muhammad Ali versus Superman comic cover, which you can find on the internet, and he also drew the celebrity crowd. But when you see it a lot now, the celebrity crowd's often cut out now because they're not allowed to use those people's images anymore. But if you've got the original, you can find it online. It's there. But he worked for Marvel, worked for DC, a lot of stuff with X-Men, Avengers, Fantastic Four, and he was a true legend who moved the industry forward a huge amount, and but passed away at the age of 80. So rest in peace, Neil Adams, and thank you for your work.
Here. Well, I think on that note, it's probably time to say goodnight. So it's good night from me.
Oh, did you not want to big up about how people can maybe listen to the podcast?
I think people are getting bored of that, aren't they?
But then we can...
Every podcast.
All right, fine, okay. As usual, don't forget to rate and review us on your preferred podcast app. You can find us on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter,
And the mothership.
and the mothership, cultfaction.com.
If they have any emails, where can they email us, Damien?
They can email us at cultfactionpodcast@mail.com.
Yes, they can.
I think that covers everything. I think most importantly, if you are listening to us and you like what we say,
Let us know.
rate us. Give us a 1 star. We can take it.
No, we can't take
I can.
1 star. Just let us know how we can improve before you give us that 1 star.
Tell us how bad the sound quality is.
Give us a 4 star, and then tell us how we can improve to a 5 star. Don't give us a 1 star, Damien.
It's goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from
And it's
me.
a goodbye from me, you maggots.
Superman.
Is that a song? Na 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 na.
That's the Argos.
Na 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 na.
No, life is life, I think that's.
Okay. Just checking. And that wasn't enough of the songs that we get sued out of the
Film, a TV show.
And I think it also has to be in tune for it to
I'm
count.
not sure there is a tune for that. They're just kind of weighing it.
That's true. It's a kind of.
Na,
It's like a chart.
Na, 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 and everyone joins in, get drunk. Na, 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 na.
Come on, darling.
Oh, that's weird.
I'm not asking anymore now. So,
Anyway.
What? And now, like your parents were, you are the secret force of pole position.